All right, want to bring in body language expert Tonya Reiman. Tonya, this was an unusual trial to see the latest. We couldn't see Chauvin's full face because he was wearing a mask, but he was very expressive with his eyes. His body seemed tense at times while the judge delivered the verdict. Talk to us a little bit about what you saw from him in that moment, and also maybe some of the body language that we were able to elicit from him or see from him during the trial, perhaps maybe even when he made the determination with his lawyer that he was going to evoke his Fifth Amendment rights.
Yeah, so it was interesting to watch how his facial expressions started. When you're watching him, you can see these two lines, glabella. So that means concern. He obviously knows what's going to happen. But because we can't see the bottom half of his face, there's always a question of what he's actually experiencing. However, if you're watching his eyes move side to side, they're dotting all around, and that shows severe anxiety. When you see somebody who looks all over the room over and over again, that demonstrates severe anxiety. So honestly, when you're looking at him, I think he knew what was coming, and you see that more so at the end, where when he has to stand up, he just puts his arms back as if it's acceptance. But when you watched him throughout the trial, you also noticed that there was a lack of concern. Like, he would be writing notes, but at the same time, you didn't see anything in his upper forehead to demonstrate either remorse, which would be sadness, like underneath the eyes, you might be seeing some sadness. Here, we just saw somebody who thought he was probably going to be convicted. And then when he was convicted, although there was some skepticism, if you watch, you'll see his left eyebrow raises quite often, but you didn't see somebody who was absolutely surprised at the verdict.
Now, I think it's an interesting point to bring up, because here in the last vestiges, we hope, of this COVID-19 virus, we've seen the images of Derek Chauvin on the day of George Floyd's death. We've had his face. It's been kind of burned into the mind of all Americans, including, I'm sure, the jury. And yet, when it came to the trial, we never really were able to see his face because of the COVID protocols, the mask being over his face. Do we have to have a conversation about what impact that has on jurors, not just in this case, but in all cases, when jurors are really looking to maybe look into the eyes, in some ways look into the soul of a person to figure out what their intent is?
Well, that's actually a great point, but you just made it. Like, when you look into the eyes, we were always able to look into his eyes. What we weren't able to do is see what his facial expressions were down below. So quite often, that's a significant tell. Like, your eyes might say one thing while your face, your lower half, is saying a completely different conversation. Yet at the same time, when you're looking at the eyes, what you're looking for is either pupil dilation or constriction based on the lighting. You're looking for the eyebrows to raise. You're looking for some sense of concern. Here we did see, again, like if you look right here, again, you see the concern. And throughout the trial, again, on his left side, you saw his eyebrow would raise. And when you see somebody's eyebrows raise, especially one, that indicates skepticism, as if they don't truly believe what they're hearing, as if it's a shock to them or they disagree with what they're hearing. Yet at the end, it was kind of a disconnect, because then suddenly he put his arms right behind his back as if he was expecting it. So maybe he didn't agree with what was being said, but he accepted the verdict and potentially knew it was coming.
All right, Tonya, you're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon as we go through, I'm sure, this same type of questioning with the upcoming trials in August.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on NEWSMAX TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, NEWSMAX TV.